Ladies and gentlemen, the ICONIC CIO Middle East 2024 recognizes the most influential CIOs and digital technology leaders, celebrating their exceptional achievements. These visionary leaders, with their strategic acumen and technological innovations, are shaping the world of technology in this region. The ICONIC CIO is a recognition that aims to inspire and cultivate a culture of excellence and innovation within the ICT ecosystem. To honor these trailblazers and to present, before the recognition happens, I'd like to invite on stage Mr. Anoop Mathur, founder, CXO Capital. Let's welcome Anoop on stage.
Very good evening to all of you. How's the evening going? All right, excellent. Okay, now that you said it's going excellent, I've got a presentation, 1 hour. Yeah, how does that sound? Boring? All right, I'll make it exciting. I'll take about 5-6 minutes and then we'll just straight jump into the recognitions, right? Just a bit of context setting around the ICONIC CIO. So, of course, it's about the leaders in the modern world, which basically is all of you. And it's visionary leaders inspiring change and fostering transformation. So I just have some pointers. This is a good slide, and I thought it's good to kind of share with the leadership over here. So the modern age realm of leadership. So what is it that boards are looking at when it comes to leaders? As a background, just for some of you to know, is I'm also a VC. I'm also on the board of a lot of companies, and these are also conversations that come out with promoters, with a lot of board members in terms of what's the kind of leadership they're looking at. So authenticity pretty much tops the chart, where they're looking at the genuine self, value-driven leadership, transparency, integrity, consistency, aligning core values with actions. I think it also goes back to some of you who were there in the morning, or rather in the afternoon, where Meher was talking about self-love. I think a lot came out around the core values, right? So that's one of the things that they look at. Empathy and connection, because again, it's about high emotional intelligence. You'll all appreciate that you have fairly stressful jobs, right? Is that a fair point? Yes, I can see everybody nodding. I can see Kevin smiling, but yeah, that's the reality, right? So you need very high emotional intelligence to kind of manage what you do. It's not just limited to your teams, but today the wheels of any business are propelled by technology, and therefore you need very high emotional intelligence, not just for your teams, but even cross-functional teams. Manage conflicts, I'm sure you're doing that all the time. Deeper connect with team, build strong relationships with stakeholders, do a complete 360. Seek win-win solutions, because at the end of the day, it's in the best interest of the organization. Promote collaboration and foster a harmonious work environment, right? One of the panel sessions, discussions that we did earlier was around, how do you build stakeholder management? How do you buy in when it comes to Gen AI? With your stakeholders. So all this kind of sums up together. Resilience, adaptability and growth mindset. Fail fast and learn fast, because whether we like it or not, the pace at what technology is moving, you have to experiment, right? There's limited you can do about that. Personal and professional growth focused and leading through uncertainty. And of course, the last one is ethical responsibility. Purpose-driven leadership. Positive impact on their organizations and society. So it's not just limited to your organization, but it's a lot about society. Lead with a moral compass, social and environmental consciousness, and prioritize CSR and sustainable practices. I think for a lot of you now, CSR would be a KPI or ESG, the way you would like it, right? The next is the focus has to be on business, and modern leaders will need to have a business focus with an entrepreneurial mindset, which means that you have to drive it not just like a BU, but cutting across the organization with an entrepreneurial mindset, and drive to sustain existing. And there is an expectation that leaders like you are able to build new product lines on the back of digital and technological advancements. Creation of intelligent enterprises. So systems and processes support each other to complete and deliver in the most efficient way, right? So when you plan, design, it has to be in hand. Innovations and developments in transformative technologies will cease to exist in isolation. Boundaries between them will be blurring, which means that all the innovations and developments that you do have to go hand in hand. It cannot be in isolation anymore. Inflation and supply chain security, Jay, your area, but companies need to improve their resilience in any way that they can reduce exposure to volatile market pricing of commodities, as well as building protective measures into supply chains to deal with shortages and rising logistical costs. Now, while this sounds like a very business challenge, but this is something which is an expectation that how technology leaders, digital leaders can help solve and overcome. This is an expectation that comes from boards and the management, right? Map out entire supply chains, and that's why the expectation is that you are able to map out the entire supply chain, whether with digital or technological advancements, and exposure to any supply and inflation risks. Explore alternative suppliers and become more self-reliant. So how can you harness the power of data? How can you use Gen AI? How can you look at logistical supplies? And it's basically the power of information that allows you to make that smart decisions, right? Sustainability conscious consumers, that's where the world is moving. A lot of us actually think a lot of all these things. So for example, investors and consumers prefer businesses with the right environmental and social credentials. And that's why today we talk a lot about green power, brown power versus, and all the ESG kicks in, right? Buying trends are increasingly being driven by conscious consumers. So those who want to prioritize factors such as ecological impact and sustainability when choosing who to buy from or do business with, right? So everybody's looking at who comes with the moral compass, who is, socially aware and thinking of the environment all along. And that's why the image there says environment, equity, and economy, right? Everything put together. And finally, the ESG processes are moved to the center of your strategy. And that's what I said earlier, that ESG is probably a KPI for a lot of you. Immersive customer experience. Customers crave experience above all else. Fair, we are all customers somewhere or the other. And every time you get a great customer experience, it raises the bar. And the next time that becomes an expectation and you want another level of experience, right? So therefore it has to be immersive, it has to be engaging. The trend towards experience is so strong that CXOs today have to, or other CIOs have to play the role of chief experience officers, where a lot of focus, and that's why we talk a lot about customer experience, employee experience, everything as an experience, right? Because at the end of the day, that's what creates the moat point. So the game has evolved, and this year's keywords being immersion and interactivity, because that's where your data points will keep coming in, and then how do you, at the underlying layer, how do you advance with the advanced technologies? Of course, the talent challenge continues. Accelerated digital transformation, heavily used word everywhere, but that still continues. A lot of workplace automation, pretty much in every single job in the world. Reskilling and upskilling have huge swathes of people in businesses, recruiting new people that have the skills needed for the future. Another point over here is, partners who bring the skill sets on the table. And then finally, creating the data and tech-savvy workforce needed to succeed in the future, right? Thank you. Excellent. It's time to now go to the recognitions, but thank you so much.
Right.